President Xi Jinping is trying to turn the world against the U.S. against Trump, as Trump is out there seeking deals with many other countries over this 90-day pause. The president of China, apparently many of his diplomats are going out there and spreading a message to other countries that the U.S. is a bully that cannot be trusted, and they're trying to turn foreign governments against the U.S. within this 90-day window, putting some of these other countries in a challenging position. Obviously, the EU is opposed to tariffs, but also you have just mixed interests here across many of these countries, with some Asian countries surrounding China sort of uncertain which side to take, likely leaning towards trying to play the middle ground. And ultimately, I don't have a tremendous amount of insight to provide on this story. Other than that, it's very clear that this is shaping up to be a trade war. You have sort of the two sides here, the United States and China. And ultimately, the main takeaway I just want to sort of put out there is no one benefits from this at all. It is a tremendous amount of time spent to not really drive a whole lot of economic benefit for any of the countries involved here. This is just the beginning of it, but it is, hopefully there's some negotiations made and this is resolved swiftly. I'm a little skeptical of that. If it can be, that's fantastic. But the longer it drags on, consumers do not benefit from this, and neither do businesses. And that's, ultimately sort of my thoughts here.
Yeah, when China's positioning itself as the paragon of law and order in the world, you need a new PR firm.
Yeah.
I mean, we really, has our reputation sunk that low? That's what starting trade wars do. I'm not saying that the goal is not legitimate. More manufacturing, if that's the goal. Maybe it's to replace the income tax.
I do think that is a noble goal. Yeah.
Sure. We talked about in the last segment, there are other ways. I'm not for it, by the way, but I'm honest people can disagree. I just don't know what the objective of the current set of policies, and I'm putting those in huge quotes because they're changing every day. There's no serious case that can be made that what we're seeing here is the execution of a coherent policy. Everything is whimsical. And they would say, well, that's the art of the deal. I'm sorry, the art of the deal ain't working. We got to find a new book or whatever. So there's this underlying there's this overriding, I should say, because that's really the crux of the problem. We don't know what the objective is, and the means to achieve that unknown objective, assuming the objective is constant, don't seem to be consistent. So we got to get our own, obviously, house in order.
I would be certainly more in favor. There are certainly issues of national security from a manufacturing side when you talk about semiconductors and other items out there.
Sure.
That I can understand the argument for having the need for U.S. manufacturing capabilities.
But that's not what other presidents have done that.
It's been so broad. This is broader based. And so when it comes down to items like, I'm throwing these out there hypothetically, Lincoln Logs as, toys, kids' toys and shoes and T-shirts and some of these other ones that aren't a threat to national security. To me, from an economic standpoint, I'm not going to sit here and pound the table and say I want those to be manufactured in the U.S. or if the people who are going to make that counter argument that they do want it manufactured in the U.S., that's fine. They can absolutely have that opinion, but you just better be willing to pony up because it's going to cost a whole heck of a lot more if you want it manufactured here.
It's hard to know what to object to here because the objectives keep changing. I know I'm repeating myself. But these exceptions that you talked about in the last segment to inputs to building cars. Wait a minute. I thought the point was to have everything made here. At least that's the sense I got from listening to Trump and Vance during
their counter argument would be allowing time for the parts to be made here. I'm just saying that would probably be the point.
I think you're sane washing. I love this new what is it called? A neologism when somebody invents a word. I think that's what it's called. Chuck would know. But anyway, I love this new word, sane washing. It's we try to make sense of something that is inherently stupid. And this whole, this is all part of, now we're going to phase this in. Why didn't you say that 2 weeks ago? It's just, I don't sense any consistency, coherency, and this isn't just me, it's everybody. If you turn on Bloomberg, CNBC, if you read the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times, The Economist, what am I leaving out here? Nobody can make heads or tails out of this. It's changing every day. And this argument that it's five-dimensional chess, it's the art of the deal, that's just excusing away the incoherency of it. And it's having real economic effects. Thankfully, stocks have bounced back somewhat, but we see the testimony every day from business people who say they can't plan.